Man, I am so glad that we finally had a great primetime game where there was no officiating controversy whatsoever. Am I right? Am I right? Oh, God. Welcome, everybody, to JG9 News, the channel where we talk all things NFL all the time. My name is Jarrett9, representing the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking about the ending to the Lions Cowboys game that took place last night, though not what you might be expecting. I know everyone's talking right now about how that game actually ended. It ended with the debacle on the two-point conversion where it looks like the referee screwed up badly. I think we need body cams on the refs right now just so we can have some accountability in this game and so referees can evaluate what they missed and what they were looking at the whole time. But with that being said, there was one play in that game that no one's talking about. It happened late in the game, and I want to bring it up because I think it's a loophole that the competition committee really needs to close for the 2023 season. So if you were watching that game, what happened was that Jared Goff threw an interception to the Cowboys. It was picked up by Donovan Wilson, his second pick of the day when he came into the game with no picks. Got an interception with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. Now, at this point, the Lions had 2 timeouts in their back pocket. So you figure that the Cowboys, they call 3 plays, and the Lions essentially have 3 timeouts. They have 2 timeouts, and they have the 2-minute warning available at their disposal. However, something very interesting happens on the first play that the Cowboys run. So the first play that the Cowboys run, it is a running play by Tony Pollard that picks up 7 yards initially. However, there is a tripping penalty called on Peyton Hendershot, the tight end on the Cowboys. They throw the flag, they call it, and because of that, the Cowboys back up 15 yards. Having said that, though, the clock ran all the way down to the 2-minute warning as a result. This penalty actually benefited the Cowboys in many ways, because what it did was that it took it down to the 2-minute warning, and the Lions had 2 options. They could either decline the penalty, but it brings up 2nd and 3, or they could accept the penalty and bring up 1st and 25. The only reason they got 2nd and 3 in the first place was because Hendershot tripped a man, according to what the referee said. But if you decline the penalty, obviously it's very hard to stop the Cowboys going 3 yards on 3 plays, essentially, because they would probably go for a 4th down, try and end the game right there. But if you accept the penalty, bring up 1st and 25 as a result of the tripping penalty, now you don't have that extra timeout to play with. It was 1st and 10 before, with 2:05 left. Now it's 1st and 25 with 2 minutes left. So what that means is that if the Cowboys just run the ball 3 times, the Lions can't stop the clock on the 3rd time because they only have 2 timeouts at their disposal. This is a massive loophole. And again, I don't think the Cowboys intentionally designed it this way, but in a way, that penalty by Hendershot was absolutely genius. I think more teams need to do that. I think it's a problem that the competition committee needs to fix going into the 2024 season, or if they could close it right now before the playoffs, that would be great. Because think about it. If you're in a situation like the Cowboys were in, what's stopping you from just blatantly holding everyone and daring the referees to call it? It's a win-win situation. If you don't get called for holding, a giant hole opens up, you get a huge chunk of yardage, you get a 1st down, you get to pick up a ton of yards, it works out perfectly for you. But if they do call holding, then the other team can just accept the penalty, but it takes it down to the 2-minute warning. So essentially save yourself 40 seconds at the end of the game. Think about it like this. We're going to assume the Cowboys were smart for a second and ran the ball 3 straight times afterwards. If they ran the ball 3 times in a row, let's say the Lions stuff them. 1st down takes it down to the 2-minute warning. 2nd down, they called him out with about 156. 3rd down, they called him out with about 152. Now, with the holding penalty or the tripping penalty or whatever you want to call it situation, goes to 2 minutes on the first play. 1st down, Lions call a timeout 156, 2nd down 152, 3rd down 148, but then you have 40 seconds off the play clock. That goes to 108. The Lions are now only getting the ball with a minute left on the clock versus before where they would get it back with about 1:45, maybe 1:40. It's a brilliant situation for the Cowboys to commit a penalty there. And again, I don't think it was designed for Hendershot to do that, but it's a loophole for sure. Because dare the refs to call the penalty, dare the refs to throw the flag. If they don't, you're probably going to get a whole lot of yards on that one. And if they do throw the flag, they'll accept the penalty and they'll push you back, but you save yourself 40 seconds on the clock, and that is huge because the clock is your biggest friend at this point. That's the play that no one's really talking about. I get why no one's talking about it, because the ending of that game was incredibly controversial. I get it. The ending was absolutely insane. We're going to be talking about that one for a while, and rightfully so, especially this year with how bad the save officiating is in the NFL right now. But that is a massive loophole that I could absolutely see a team exploiting if given the situation. So what would my fix be for this situation? Take it back to the original spot on the clock. Just take it back to the original spot on the clock. If there's a play like that where it goes down to the 2-minute warning, the other team has the option to accept the penalty and revert the clock back to where it originally was. Because it is a lose-lose situation for a team like Detroit there, where you either have to decline the penalty, bring up a 2nd and short situation, or maybe another 1st down situation, but the only reason they got that yardage in the first place was because they committed a penalty, or you have to sacrifice 40 seconds that you could potentially use that you didn't have to sacrifice beforehand. We'll see if they close this loophole in 2024. They should. We'll see if another team exploits it in 2023. Hopefully that's not the case, but the way the rules are written right now, it is something to definitely keep an eye out on. But that's going to do it for this episode of JG9 News. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. If you like NFL history, be sure to join my main channel, Jaguar9. We talk about all things NFL all the time. We have an episode of Dumb Decisions coming out later in the day. Mike McCarthy's awful decision to throw the ball instead of running the ball and killing some clock late in the 4th quarter that set up this entire mess in the first place. So go check that out when it drops. Until next time, Jaguar9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.